Now at 10, we're in a weather watch alert after a warm start. It is a stormy finish, and these storms could get loud. We're going to time it out for you and let you know about the big changes ahead coming up.
A dramatic way to start the day. Tenants at a Bridgeport apartment complex awakened to a loud explosion in the early morning hours. Police and the FBI responding. We'll have the latest.
And we've been talking about it all week. UConn coach Dan Hurley's decision to stay in stores and go for a three-peat. Today, the coach made his first public comments about the choice, and we'll hear what he had to say.
Now at 10, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
And we begin tonight with the forecast as the state braces for storms tomorrow afternoon. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Alexa Farrell. We are in a weather watch alert for strong winds and heavy rain arriving tomorrow. That could complicate your evening commute.
Yeah, Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank has been poring over the models all day long. She joins us now with what to expect as the system moves in. So, Rach, when does the rain start?
Well, we could see a scattered shower or thunderstorm at any point during the afternoon, but I think the worst part of this system as this line comes through will be between 3 p.m. and 8 o'clock at night, and that's when we could see a strong or severe storm. If we do end up getting a severe storm, the number one risk would be for localized damaging winds. To me, it doesn't look like this will be a widespread severe weather day, but most of us will be able to get some rain, some locally heavy downpours, some lightning possible as well. So we did want to give you a heads up about this in case you have outdoor plans scheduled for later tomorrow. It's time to start thinking about maybe moving those inside, and you might want to leave yourself some extra time for the evening commute. It looks like there is a greater risk for seeing a strong to severe storm if you live around the I-84 corridor or north and west. And the farther south and east you go, the lower the risk is for severe storms, but we all have the chance of getting at least some rain tomorrow. Right now we're near 70 degrees. Remember how we've been talking about how refreshing these overnight lows have been the last few nights? Not tonight. It stays warm, it stays humid. We're looking at overnight lows in the 60s, and it is a warm and muggy start with rising levels of humidity as we head through the afternoon. We're looking at highs in the 80s, and then we'll see those storms developing in the afternoon, and especially heading into the evening when they may become even more widespread. We'll show you the future radar a little bit slower, step you through the day, and talk about some big time heat for next week coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. Developing tonight in Bridgeport, dozens of people are back in their homes after a startling wake-up call. An explosion inside their apartment complex, prompting a heavy police presence and even the FBI. And tonight, one man is in police custody, being called a person of interest in the case.
There is no ongoing threat to the public. That's what officials want people to know this evening after that explosive device went off early this morning. But tonight, there are still questions left unanswered. A person of interest has been arrested, according to Bridgeport police. Nelson Diaz of Bridgeport has been charged with disorderly conduct.
Despite the fact there's no reports of injuries, it's a very serious incident, and the building is being combed right now by law enforcement.
Just after midnight this morning, a loud explosion woke the neighbors at 1512 North Avenue in Bridgeport.
There was like so much smoke that I was like, is it a fire or something?
10-year-old Sofia Dos Santos was woken up by her mother and rushed outside.
I was sleeping, and then my mom woke me up. I was like, why am I being awake, like in the middle of the night?
At this point, the worst is over.
You can see what appears to be damage from an explosion in the front entranceway and in the hallway of the apartment building.
Obviously, it's very concerning to get a report, as we did in the middle of the night, of an explosion, an explosive device apparently used to breach the doorway of the building behind us.
Geraldine Johnson School, which is near the apartment, was closed for the day as the 134 displaced neighbors found refuge in the building. The Red Cross was on scene to help the 20 residents in the apartment and the over 100 from surrounding homes get settled.
Working with the Connecticut State Police as well as the FBI to determine what type of device was used in this situation and try to figure out the origins of this device at this time.
Officials say they are happy to report that no one was hurt in this incident, as they feel it could have been much worse. Now, police say Diaz is a convicted felon. Investigators believe he does not live in that apartment complex where the explosion happened, but it's unclear why he was in the building in the first place.
A Fox 61 follow-up now to a breaking news story we brought you last evening. A man faced a judge in Hartford today for a crash that killed a construction worker. Prosecutors say 25-year-old Tommy Nguyen was driving recklessly when he hit and killed 54-year-old Jose Diaz Nieves at a construction site on West Boulevard. According to police, Nguyen's car was unregistered. He was driving without a valid license, and he has a history of seizures. His attorney said he suffered one right before the crash. Nguyen's friends and family say it was all just a tragic accident.
I feel sorry for the family. My condolences sent out to all you guys, all the family. I'm very, very sorry, but we are also hurting.
There are people that drive around with licensed and unregistered cars all the time. There's probably 5 cars on the street right now that are unlicensed and registered. That wasn't what caused this accident.
Now, Nguyen's grandmother and a 5-year-old child were in the car when it crashed. He faces charges of second-degree manslaughter, reckless driving, risk of injury to a minor, and failure to use a child safety seat. He's due back in court July 8th.
New details in a shooting investigation underway in New Haven. Police say a 32-year-old resident of New Haven was shot on Chamberlain Place last night at 9:30. That person is expected to survive their injuries. Police believe that they were a victim of a robbery. They say when the person fought back, they were shot. No suspects have been arrested. Police are still investigating.
And a woman in Waterbury is behind bars tonight after the discovery of 2 dogs left to live in filth inside an abandoned vehicle. Police say the 2 dogs were neglected and malnourished by their owner, Kadisha Wilson, age 29, of Marley Place. She was arrested on 2 counts of animal cruelty and is being held on $15,000 bond tonight, pending her arraignment. A Good Samaritan arranged for the dogs to be treated by a local veterinarian, and they are now in the care of an animal rescue group.
A neighborhood staple in Hamden is being demolished and it's disrupting traffic. Spring Glen Hardware on Whitney Avenue has been closed since last year. Hamden officials say the building is structurally unsound and it needs to come down. Demolition started at 1 p.m. today. Now, lane closures and parking bans will be in effect during demolition. A southbound lane of Whitney Avenue will be closed between Hawthorne and Central Avenues. Hawthorne will also be closed between Gordon Street and Whitney Avenue to all traffic until further notice. Today, Dan Hurley spoke with the media for the first time since deciding to stay in stores.
He rejected a massive offer to become the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers to stay here and go for a 3rd consecutive NCAA championship. Fox 61 sports director Jonah Karp was in stores today and was there when Coach Hurley talked about his decision.
This was a Dan Hurley that appeared very at peace with his decision. One he acknowledged was not an easy one to make. The opportunity to coach LeBron James was incredibly appealing to him. They've been exchanging text messages back and forth for several days. Also, the money was intriguing. This was a guy who was making $45,000 to $50,000 coaching high school kids several years ago and teaching history classes. This was a deal reportedly worth $70 million. To get an opportunity like this is surreal. It would have taken a special opportunity to pull Coach Hurley away from UConn, and this Lakers job was certainly in that stratosphere. There also was a moment in this press conference when Dan Hurley talked about how instrumental his wife Andrea was in making this decision and what it was like the morning the decision was made.
My wife came to the facility. We sent each other a text on Sunday night. It was literally right before we went to bed. We said, 1, 2, 3, send a text message to each other. Go stay. And 1, 2, 3, send it, and we both got it, and it was stay. I said, let's do the same thing in the morning. And then it was the same, 1, 2, 3, and we both sent the text. I know it sounds bizarre, right? And then on the way out the door to come over here, just kind of looked at each other like, you feel good about this, right? And we said, and we were like, okay. So then she just wanted to come to the facility and hug the guys and see the boys once we told them that we were staying.
Coach Hurley also said he didn't like the looks on his players' faces when he told them he was considering the Lakers job in the first place. He reached out to several people in his circle, mostly family, but also his coaching staff and Alex Caravan, who he called on Sunday for advice.
I was playing 2K and he called me and I was like, why is Coach calling me? And I didn't know, I didn't know if he decided, I don't know what was happening. So I was definitely a little caught off guard when he called me, so I knew how to answer. And, we just had a good conversation. I just told him, I'm happy you're considering it. Everyone's happy that you're considering it. We wanted you to consider it because we know it's your dream. And, he considered it. He did what was best for him. And we're just all super happy he's back.
Dan Hurley said that the practice right before the press conference was as normal a day as it's felt since this whole Lakers thing started. It was back to business. And it's been an emotional ride for Hurley and his family and the UConn players. This was an incredible opportunity out in Los Angeles and a really difficult decision to make. And there were a lot of factors involved in making this decision. But ultimately, it was family and the people here at UConn that matter to Coach Hurley the most.
For me, I just think this is such a high level of sports, especially where we're competing at. And I got a chance to coach 18, 19, 20-year-old kids that you could really help change their lives. I mean, you could compete for big things and win big things, but the impact that you have on Jordan Hawkins and his family and Donovan and his family so you get the top sports competition, but then you also get the fulfillment too, which goes through your mind a lot. This was a great test and a great exercise for me for how I feel about UConn and how I feel about being a college coach and all the things that I value. I think situations like this come up for you, to test your value system and the things that are important to you. And so in a way, this was a great opportunity for self-reflection about the things I think are most important in coaching in my career.
Hurley says that this Lakers deal was in no way a matter of him seeking leverage to improve his situation here at UConn. Look, he's got the resources, he has control, he's got a great situation here in Stores, and of course an opportunity to now go for a three-peat. In Stores, Jonah Karp, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.